Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to go from Lisbon, Portugal, all the way to the south of France. No airplanes, just by cars, taxis, buses, whatever we can. No rental car either. I'll show you the map right here. We're starting out in Lisbon, and then we're going up to Porto. From Porto, we go to Vigo. We have some problems when we get to Vigo. The train is delayed, and then we end up finally in Madrid. I stayed the night in Madrid, then we go to Zaragoza, and from Zaragoza, I end up kind of crossing over into Andorra, which was a new country for me. It's a very small one in the Pyrenees mountains. Stay one night, then drop over into Toulouse in France. Realize I don't want to stay there, so I hurry up and get to Montpellier, stay the night there, wake up and take the train to Marseille, and then ultimately on to Toulon. This is the south of France. This whole trip took me about 6 days. I did have quite a few delays and some problems along the way, as you'll see. It was a great adventure, but I don't know if I would do it again. Let's begin. What's going on, everybody? Today I'm gonna try and go to Sintra, Portugal. It's a Sunday, and I had no idea that Lisbon to Sintra would be sold out pretty much on all routes. I guess the train goes about every hour or so, and all of them have been sold out. So I was looking on the app, Omeo, and nothing was available. I decided to come down here to the bus station and see if I can find something here at the train station. If not, then I'll have to audible my plans and maybe go out to the Canary Islands or the Azores or Madeira. We'll see what ends up happening here. We're supposed to be going to Porto. That's been on the agenda, but we'll see what ends up happening here. So see Flixbus right there. That's a bus station. This station is called Oriental, I believe. Where's the ticket booth? Tickets. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go up. It's like, okay. So the train's up top? I guess so. Unless I want to go to Sintra. I usually try to avoid airports. That's why I prefer trains. Airports are nowhere near as fun as they used to be when I was a kid. They are complicated, kind of draining. So trains are pretty simple. All right, so you can see everything is pretty much unavailable until 1600. Right now it's about 10:30. Not good. All right, guys. Well, it's kind of an audible. I'm taking the Flixbus. I was looking at flights to Madeira, also San Miguel in the Azores. Those were on the agenda, but they were about $440. Time wasn't the problem, it was the price. So I got this ticket for 25 euros, and it leaves in like 15 minutes. Just had a little lunch. I haven't eaten any good food the whole time I've been in Portugal. I'm not blaming Portugal necessarily, but I just personally have not. I mean, the bread is never really good bread. It's always like processed ham, not even like a good quality meat. So it's just been my luck. Actually, I did have some good burgers at this burger place that I ordered online. It was just like a smash burger. Yeah, as for me, I haven't had good luck with food in Portugal at all. Could just be because I'm traveling. And I don't, as a solo traveler, I'm not like gonna go to some gourmet 5-star restaurant by myself. Like, why would I do that? I just want regular decent food. Anyway, Flixbus, let's see. Well, it's 10:55. The bus leaves at 11:05. They still haven't issued the platform number, so I'm just waiting on that. Let's hope this Flixbus isn't the equivalent of a Greyhound in the US. I think it's a step up, but we'll see. There's a bus here that's going to Porto. Let's see if this is it. I don't know. Alright, it's this white bus here. So, let's see how this goes. Alright, we have arrived. So that was a pretty smooth journey. No complaints. Taxi.
Yes.
Where you want to go?
Two people.
One people.
I want
And this is it. And we're off right on time. That's amazing. Things move kind of fast here. Go with this guy. He's gonna do it for 20 euros. That's a good price. It's 4 kilometers away. So it's totally fine for me. Same price as Uber. Only difference is he takes cash, no card. But yeah, it was a pretty smooth sailing to get in here. Took about 3 hours. It's very green. It's a green route. Also lots of hills and mountains I didn't expect. Yeah, so we're here staying at the Sheraton Hotel. And this little roundabout, revolving door I should say, but it's the Sheraton Spa. It was $155 a night, or 155 euros I should say, more in dollars, because the euro is stronger. Don't ask me why. I'm still trying to figure that out. We got a restaurant there. It just so happened that I was in Porto, Portugal for the Spain versus Portugal game. That was cool to see. Just showing you around Porto here. This is the second largest city in Portugal. I really enjoyed my time here. It's my second time here. They have a beautiful river. They have gardens. They have the Harry Potter library. This is where J.K. Rowling, I believe her name is. She got the inspiration to write the Harry Potter series. But the place is also known for its mosaics on its churches and buildings. Really a beautiful city. Highly recommend stopping here and not skipping this one. But we got some travel that we've got to do coming up. We're going to be going all the way to France without flying. All right guys, after about 2 days here in Porto, I am now heading up towards the north to Vigo, I believe, and then that'll take me on to Santiago de Compostela. I'm not exactly sure how you say that. I will do better, but that's where I'm headed now. My goal is to go across the north of Spain and eventually get to the Pyrenees Mountains and on to France. So let's see how this goes. All right, we're here at Campania. This is the bus station. Also, I believe it's train as well. I'm not sure, but we're gonna be trying to take a Flixbus here. If I can't get that Flixbus, then we have to Audible, and the Audible will be a taxi to Vigo. Yes, let's see how much of a taxi. How much to go to Vigo? Well, I opted for the convenience of a taxi. It's going to cost about 150 euros. Basically what we're doing here is we're going from Porto, Portugal to Vigo, Spain, and it's going to cost around 170 euros and take about an hour to an hour and a half. We keep going over. Yeah, so I didn't tell you guys about that taxi. So he pulled over 2 times on the side of the freeway because his fender was coming off. So he would just pull over on the side of the freeway. He was an older man, nice guy, but the way he conducted himself was a little bit concerning. Sometimes he would stare at his phone and almost run off the road. But also, the crazy thing was he went the wrong way. So I guess he uses Waze, the app Waze, and he'd been following that, but for some reason that took him to another town called like Baylan or something like that. So we went like 40 minutes in the wrong direction, and it was on a meter. He finally stopped the meter, but something that should have been like an hour and 20-minute taxi turned into like a 2-hour thing. And on the meter, I don't really think he was trying to run up the meter cost. It ended up costing 170 euros. I think he was just kind of, I don't know. Maybe the best word would be maybe a little bit clumsy or older, I don't know. But we got here. He's a nice guy. Gave him 170 euros, but yeah, that was just wild. Pulling over twice on the side of the road for this fender or bumper coming off. And that's another thing. I asked him to drop me off in the central part of Vigo, but he didn't. So now I'm walking. I've tried to use Uber and I've tried to use the other rideshare app. Every time it times out. Not able to find a driver. I see taxis driving by here, but I don't know how to hail them. I've tried to stick my hand up and get their attention, but they just drive right past. So kind of a funky situation today. You know, sometimes you just have these days. I guess this is mine. Okay, well, we've arrived and I'm gonna get some lunch, my first meal of the day. Wow, look at that. That's a nice burger, wow. Yeah guys, so this place Vigo, way better than I ever expected. This is a nice place actually. Real nice. It's like they got a big old cruise ship in here. Liberty of the Seas. That is a big one. Fortaleza. Yeah, so I've basically got my plans to get to France from here. Obviously I'm in the far northwest of Spain. So from here I'll take a 4.5-hour high-speed train to Madrid. From Madrid I will try to get as close to the Pyrenees mountains as I can. Probably stay the night at one of the villages north of Barcelona, and then catch a bus into the Pyrenees to Andorra. From Andorra, I will probably drop into Toulouse by bus, and then I'll be in France, where they have a train network that works good. Take me to the south of France. So, got my plans. Tomorrow's gonna be a big travel day for me. So I had to take a little break today. Didn't want to do all of it in one day. I was tired. Here at the hotel that I was staying at, they had really delicious cordon bleu. My friends, I stayed at the Hotel AC. You can see this hotel right here. It's quite nice. It's cold this morning. Chilly. And I've got a Uber coming to take me to the train station. I'm going to Madrid. It's going to take about 4.5 hours, and then we're going on to the next town. I think it's called Lleida, if I can get there, and then I'll be closer to Andorra, which is kind of my next big target, just to get across Spain, and that will put me closer to France. Yeah, this marine layer's got it real nippy this morning for a summer day in July. Okay, we're here at Vigo or Zeiss. I guess that's how you say it, but I could be saying it totally wrong. This is the train station, very modern. What a beautiful town. I had no idea the north of Spain was so spectacular. Might just be the most underrated place I've been in Europe. Like, it is green, it's forest, it's beautiful harbors. Looks like the beaches are spectacular. Compare it to the Caribbean or the Mediterranean, where it's, you know, like a desert. This is like a forest up here. Reminds me a bit of Central California. It's the best that I can say it, but so beautiful. Not overcrowded, not overrun with tourists. It's more of a local vibe. Like, you can go into the cafes and get a good feeling. So they have Santiago de Compostela. I'm not going there though. I was gonna go there, but I've got to get to France. I'm way behind. I've spent like almost a month over in this area between Morocco, Spain, Portugal. So I've got to progress. I feel kind of at the edge of the continent here. So I've got to make this push. Let's see here. Is this the train station? Let's see. I'll let you know how this goes, guys. Once I figure out what I'm doing here. Haven't had any breakfast. It's 9 a.m. How do we do this? I went to the wrong building. I'm pretty sure that was a mall. So I'm going back over to the other building. It's just there's no real indication of a train. It says on the map there is, but I don't see any indication of a train. What in the world is going on here? Where is the train? Man, this place is like space age for sure. But Spain designed the space age train stations. Alright, let's see here. I am literally just looking for any sort of signal that says train platforms or a train tracks or something. There we go. There's a train signal symbol. Platform 5. So I'm going to Madrid. So I'm getting some breakfast, and yeah. So this tastes. It's a ham sandwich with a peach. Well, I think we're boarding now. So quite an impressive train station here, and we're getting on a quite impressive high-speed train. This will be nice. We got rental cars there. Going through the scanners here. Okay, so I had to pay a little bit extra for my baggage, about 15 euros. Whoop. And then the ticket itself was about 65 euros, something like that. So it comes out to around 80, including the bag. I'm sitting second class. This is a 4.5-hour train. So let's see how this goes. Okay. I gotta brush up on my Spanish. For sure. The lady there, she was talking in Spanish, and I was like, uh-oh, I don't understand anything she just said. Even though I understand certain words, I wasn't aware of everything she said, but she was basically telling me I needed to pay extra for my bag. Alright, here's my seating. It's basically full seats.
Estación Pontevedra. En nombre de Ourense, gracias por habernos elegido. Esperamos volver a...
Yeah, we're about 3 minutes delayed. That's not bad. So, I don't know why they would have been 3 minutes delayed, but we've got a few stops along the way. I thought this was a direct train, but we're going to Pontevedra, then Santiago. So lots of stops. First stop is Pontevedra. Well, we're here in Santiago and we're delayed. So far we've just been here for 25 minutes. And we don't know when we're leaving. Alright, so we're severely delayed here. This is a big delay. We've been here for now 40 minutes. And no one knows when we're leaving. They've even let us get off the train. At least it's not too hot, but I don't know what's going on, what's delayed it. I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know what they were saying over the announcements. Alright, so we all got back on the train, and then everyone's got off with all their suitcases. There's been no announcement in English, so I'm kind of just following the herd here. We are severely delayed here. And they've even got us getting off the train. So maybe they're going to replace the train. We'll see. Well, there goes our train. That was the train we were just on. And there's no update. No one has said anything about what's next. At least not in English. This is funny. Everyone's just standing here and no one has said anything about what's going on. Maybe there's a train coming, maybe there isn't. But we're just standing here. Minutes are turning into hours. Yeah, so now we are fully off the train, fully out of the station. And I don't know what I'm gonna do now. There's no update. Literally no update. No one knows what's going on next. I've never seen such a mess in the station too. The whole station's just crowded. It's like there's even more than one train, it seems like, that's delayed. So I don't know what's going on, but imagine a bunch of trains with delayed passengers all just kind of crammed in this old building right here. Like, if you wanted to get some food, it's impossible. There's one restaurant and a line for food, and it's just not a good situation. I'll show you in a minute. So this is what it looks like inside here. You can see it's real small, and there's just people everywhere just lined up. Even if I wanted to get back on the train, I wouldn't even know how. I don't even see a line for it. I don't really know what I want to do right now. I don't know. Just wait here, or I don't know. We're at least been here for an hour and 30 minutes, at least, since the train first arrived. I've actually never seen something like this before. I've seen airplanes delayed before, but usually they bring in a plane quite quick. Maybe I saw something like this in the Caribbean. I think it was a Spanish territory as well. At this point, I may audible. I might just audible. You guys saw a train that did the delay in Morocco, and I just didn't want to wait any longer, so I went to the oh, there's a train there. What's this? What's going on there? Probably just passing through. But yeah, I was thinking about getting a taxi to Ourense or something like that. And they got a train leaving at 3. I don't see any taxis out here. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get a taxi here. It's gonna be 105 euros to get me to Ourense. So I'll do it. I'm gonna wait indefinitely here for hours. Yeah, so at this point, I've just been fed up with waiting, so I'm going over to catch the next train, one town over. All right, well, I'm in this town called Ourense. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. And it's interesting because I got a text message about mid-ride saying that the train station, or the train, had updated and said that the route will now be completed by road to this station. So I'm assuming what they're going to do is put all those passengers on buses and then come down here and then maybe catch up with the train. Some sort of electrical outage, I guess. So what I'm doing now is coming here to get a 3:13 train, and it's about 2 p.m. So I got about an hour to catch a bite to eat and chill, which I've been doing lots of lately. Chill, chill, chill. Let's see here. Hopefully they got a restaurant. Okay, I don't see a restaurant here, so that's not a good situation. So there you go. I'm getting this. All right, so this train's supposed to leave at 3:13, and it is about 3:10, so it's looking like we might be delayed on this one as well. I don't know what's going on here in Spain these days. All right, I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, this is becoming one of the worst travel days I've ever experienced. I don't know what is going on here. So I've now bought 2 tickets. The train that I was on in the other city, they have arrived here. Everything is delayed. Everything continues to be delayed. Clouds are building. Frustration is building. We were already supposed to be in Madrid and we hadn't even gotten anywhere close. This is unbelievable cluster. No communication. No updates. So, I mean, at what point does people lose their cool? Okay, so this train is arriving. It's going to be a free-for-all on this train because all these people are going to try and fit on that train. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look at this. And now the stampede begins. They finally let us go. Lots of blah, blah, blah. I don't even know if I'm supposed to take the same seat. Maybe the same seat as last time. Let's see. That'd be number 6. And they don't even tell you which number these are, so let's get on the train. Alright, we're on the train. I didn't sit in the same seat. There was a sign because I guess this is a different train, so everyone said free seating, so I just sat here and I got my own little seat. They're just doing a head count one by one. They're counting by their fingers. I don't know how many people are on here, but they're counting with their hands. It's 2026 and that's how we do it, guys. So we've just been waiting on this train now. So I was supposed to leave at 15:13. Now it's 5:13. It's 16:35. So we've been delayed another hour and 40 minutes. We've just been sitting on this train here for 45 minutes. That's funny. After about a 7 or 8 hour delay, I was thrilled to be moving towards Madrid. We're right here. Coming out of Ourense, we were going a bit slow, so I wasn't sure if this was one of those slow-moving trains or if this was actually a bullet train. But after about 10 minutes into the ride, we just started absolutely ripping, and I was very happy about that because I knew that it wasn't going to be long before we get to Madrid. Here in Spain, once you're on those high-speed trains, you can cover a long distance very quickly. That's what's impressive. But if you're on a slow mover, it can really be slow. So I just wanted to get into Madrid before nightfall. Thankfully, it's summertime, so it doesn't get dark in Madrid until like 10 o'clock at night. And by the time 8, 9 o'clock rolls around, it's still very sunny. I literally stepped off the train, didn't even have time to record because the steps were right there. So we're at a different station than Atocha. This one is like near the airport, I guess. Still need to find out the exact name of it. But yeah, this is Madrid. I don't know what's going on here, but alright. So that's like subway or what? I got my hotel room near Atocha. Maybe tomorrow I'll go. Oh, here we are. Right in front of the 4 towers. So I'm quite far from Atocha then. But yeah, that's where I got my hotel. I was thinking we were coming into Atocha. Tomorrow I am going to try and make a push towards Andorra. Basically ever since I left Porto, that was like the main objective. And it was just almost crazy getting out of Vigo and Santiago, that whole area. Mostly because the train delay. I don't know how often that happens, but hopefully it doesn't happen too often. Let's see, taxi, Uber, something like that. That would be great. Well, it's the next morning after a nice recharging stay here at the Atocha Hotel Madrid by Hilton Tapestry. I am actually walking down to the train station to go to Zaragoza. From Zaragoza, I got to get to Lleida. I could have done a straight shot to Lleida, but there was a problem. This morning at 1 a.m. when I was trying to book it, the Renfe schedule wasn't loading in there, and then it was in the morning, but it was too late, so it's all good. The ultimate plan for today is to get to Sesame Street. No, get to Andorra. Today will be a success if I get to Andorra. Anything beyond that would be bonus points, which would be Toulouse. The reason I say that is because in a place like Andorra, one is I don't know how expensive it is to stay there, if they have availability. I haven't even checked. I was too busy doing a Norway video last night. But let's see how this goes. And here we are approaching Atocha, different train station than we arrived. Train number 0651, that's the one we're looking for, going to Zaragoza. I've never been there before, I've only been through on a train. It's only a layover though. This will be my first time actually getting off at the station, but I don't think I'll be able to walk around. Let's see here. Is this the one going to Barcelona, actually? Yeah. So it's ultimately going to Barcelona on the Ugio. And I don't know what platform. Okay, well, check out this line. This is the line to go through the security check. I'm not even going to wait anymore because that is a long line. That's unbelievable. Incredible. All right. Here we go. Wow, those lines were long for this one. Hadn't seen lines like that yet. Let's see here. It's the first time on the Ugio train. There's another train. Well, the train is full, so I'm just sitting here in this middle compartment area. Actually a decent seat. Just don't have a window, but the train's virtually full. And we've arrived here in Zaragoza, and that was a little bit of a long haul, just because I didn't have the best seat. Even though I paid for first class, I didn't benefit from it at all. It's just a fast-moving train, but it's fully booked. The train was fast. Felt like it was ripping the whole time. I didn't realize how far Madrid is from Zaragoza, but it must be far. I think it's over 300 kilometers actually. So anyway, from here I'll have to go to Lleida, and then from there I can figure out how to get to Andorra. I think the next train that I'm catching leaves at I want to say 12:30 or so. Look at some of the high-speed trains here. Oh, I didn't realize there was two. I could have easily just gone up that. Nice train station here in Zaragoza though. It's indoors, where the trains come in, so a bit older, but I don't know much about Zaragoza actually. Alright, so I've just been informed that my Zaragoza to Lleida train has been delayed by 35 minutes. It was originally scheduled to depart at 12:49, now 1:13, something like that. So, being that it is 11 a.m., do I want to wait here and waste time sitting around here, or do I want to progress? It takes an hour and a half to get there by taxi. Maybe I can find a taxi driver who wants to go to Lleida. We'll see how much it costs. I might just do it, because time is money for me. It's sitting around is not what I'm trying to do. Alright, we're in a rental car going to Lleida. It's going to cost 230 euros. Yeah, and the only other option would have been to wait for the train, but in this case I'm saving time instead of burning daylight. But it's costing me a pretty penny. Oh, we're in Lleida. All right, so that was 230 euros. The train that I was supposed to be leaving on leaves like right, or still hasn't even left Zaragoza. So, you know, it's just the price I gotta pay to try and get to Andorra before nightfall. That's the main thing. But from here, I got to figure out what I'm going to do. I might even take a taxi up to Andorra if I can inquire. I'm just trying to get up there. It's like my main mission right now. I don't want to waste time. But I do have a bus ticket if I need it for 35 euros. Just got to find out where that bus is. Actually, it's kind of funny because where the train and bus is, it's not the name that Omeo gave on the app. They called it like Principe. So I walked in the wrong direction. I'm walking back to the bus station where I was originally, which is fine. At least I got to see a little bit of the town. That's where I'm going. Back in the direction I came. It's hot today. Nice and hot here in Lleida. Well, here's the actual bus station. Hopefully I can get a bus. Yeah, I have no idea how this works. My ticket doesn't say the name of the bus company or the location of the gate port. So let's see what happens here. Is there any staff that I can ask? I don't see any Flixbus. Alright, so here we are at the Heafy. That's, I think, it. 12. Looks like the right bus. So we'll do this. I guess this is our bus. Small one. I was thinking it was going to be the big bus, but as time went by, this was the only bus that was available. I showed the guy my ticket, and sure enough, this ended up being the bus. There was only 3 people on this short bus. It's kind of like a van. It's like a bus, I guess you could say. But the ride up there, it looked like the rest of Spain, but as we started to go up into the Pyrenees mountains, it definitely got more beautiful, a lot more water, because they've got, you know, snow, runoff, and they got reservoirs, and going through lots of tunnels because we're here in the mountains. Well, we're in Andorra now. Over here. That was a bit of a long haul. I think it took about 2.5 hours. So now we'll just look around and see what's going on up here in Andorra. Not Pandora, but Andorra. Actually, I think it's important to point this out. They do have those storage lockers. Are they available? I'm staying one night here, so I'm not using that, but it's good to know, right? You know, you never know what to expect when you come into a place like this. It's like a tax haven, you know, for the wealthy. They're outside of the EU. You got guys like this with this old car here, motorbikes. Small country, very wealthy, I would imagine, but not much probably comes from here. Not much economy, so it's all like outside wealth that lives here probably. They're not even a part of the EU. They use the euro though. They're not a part of the Schengen visa, so they didn't even ask for anything though. When you come through the immigration, when you cross the boundary, even though it's not part of the Schengen, they don't check your passport or anything. Yeah, so one big problem that I'm having right now is I have 2 SIM cards. One with AT&T, and then one with Europe, which has been a 30-day plan, still active, but neither of them are able to work. Something's keeping them from working. So I can't find my hotel. I talked to a taxi driver. He told me that my hotel was like a right and a left. So I'm just kind of following his advice. But yeah, it'd be nice if my phones would work. Just goes to show how dependent we are on Google Maps. They were working all the way up until we got here to this little village. So it's nice though, it's a nice village. Reminds me a bit of Liechtenstein a little bit. Not really. Yep, lots of good food options here though. Glad to be here. Ah, lucky, there it is. I found it. Oh man. My phone is still not connecting. But I'm excited to eat some food here. Looks like some good food options. I was able to get settled into the Novotel Hotel and go for a walk. Well guys, we're getting some rain. Wanted to enjoy and show you guys, but the rain has got other plans. Don't want to ruin my camera. Oh boy. I don't know what it is about drivers around here, but they like to speed as fast as they can right off the bat, like it's a Grand Prix. And the motorcycle guys, they really treat this place like it's a super motocross or something. And they have like loud dirt bikes. Ride the motorcycle real loud to be heard. That's the only reason they do it. They get the loudest one they can, but even then the bike doesn't sound too powerful. It just sounds like a, you know, 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder maybe. Just an annoying noise really. It's just a noise infraction, but it is what it is. People ride motorbikes. It's a beautiful place to ride a motorbike. Wow. Cool place, huh? Kind of looking for a place to eat, but worst case scenarios, I'll just eat at the hotel. Kind of reminds me a bit of Switzerland. Nice place. A bit ritzy. What town does it remind me of in Switzerland? Zermatt. Yeah, a little bit like Zermatt. So here's the buffet for dinner. It's 20 euros. That's a great price. Look at all the variety. Oh my gosh. We got cheese. What do you got over here? Some salmon. Pork. Great options. Oh, you got some pork on the grill there. Wow, for 20 euros, all this? Wow, great. It's morning, and I am going to either take a bus or a taxi. We'll see how this all shakes down. It's a beautiful morning, though. So I'm walking back to the train station. I stayed here at the Novotel. Great hotel location. Everything was good. Buffet was all right. The spa, overrated, though. Anyway, there's a casino here. It's a cool town. I'd come back. Just a little hard to get to. Not easy to get here. Alright guys, well I'm here at the bus station. At 12 o'clock they have a train or a bus leaving. It's $50, 50 euros. This one here will take me in a taxi and I can leave right now for 300 euros. So I'm doing the taxi. I don't have time to wait because time is money for me. Yeah, so the main reason I'm doing a taxi is because comfort, convenience, timeliness. And once I get out of Andorra, everything else starts flowing smooth again. So that's the main reason. Yeah, so I basically had two options: wait another hour for the bus or just get a private car. Again, time is money, burning daylight. I need to get all the way to Montpellier today. I want to get there before dark, but also the trains are limited. So if I spend a little bit more now, I can save money later because I can take trains and not get stuck in a city. I can make forward progress to where I ultimately need to go. Crossing Spain, going to France really takes a lot of time, especially if you're doing it without flying. And trains only run at certain times, so sometimes you have to pay a little bit extra to get there faster. And as you can see at this point, we're still climbing through the Pyrenees mountains. We kind of reached the tippy top of where we need to be after doing that switchback there. And then we finally get to the border with France. There was a little bit of a log jam once we got there. And I don't know why it would be like that because they didn't check any passports or anything, but there was still a little bit of a line. But then we started to come down into France, headed towards Toulouse. But yeah, as we got to the other side of Andorra, there was a lot of ski resorts. It was basically like a ghost town in the summertime here. I'd imagine during the winter months, all of those hotels and everything comes back to life. All right, guys, I am here in Toulouse. I don't know much about this place, but I need to figure out how to get towards the French Riviera because that's ultimately my plan here. Can't drive on this road, so he just dropped me off in the central area. I don't know much about Toulouse, but we'll see where I end up going, what it's going to take to get to maybe Montpellier or I don't know, Marseille. Doubt I'll go to Marseille. I think it's kind of far, but I'm in France finally, and we'll see how far I can get. Well, I'm gonna try and get to the train station here because I don't really see anything that's too compelling about Toulouse here to make me want to stay. It's just a spot along the way. Looks okay. I'm sure it's got some nice cafes and stuff, but pretty much feeling like I want to get down to the French Riviera at this point in time. I've got to get to this street corner here so I can get a taxi to the train station. There's a train leaving at 2:14. It's 1:44. The train station's 13 minutes away by car. I don't have a car yet, so let me see if I can get a taxi, because I don't know how long it would be to wait for an Uber. I suppose I could try, but I need to get to the street corner where the cars are allowed. So I guess there's some sort of rule about cars in the area. Alright, so the Uber didn't come. I tried to hail it, so it looks like I'm not going to make the 2:14 train. They have another one going at 4. But yeah, as I go around here, I'm not really seeing anything that's too captivating for me to want to stay here. That's okay though. I don't think they have anything that's like world renowned, famous. So no real reason. One kind of frustrating thing that I'm seeing here is there's no taxis and the Uber app didn't work, so that's crazy. I have yet to see one taxi, not even a taxi that was full. So let's hope they've got taxis here. Okay, well, they've got some sort of life here along a river. That's good. Let's see what we can find now. What I'm gonna do now is go find some shade and see if I can get an Uber. I don't care about waiting now that I'm in some shade, and I don't really have to rush to get to the 2 o'clock train that I just won't make. Yeah, so here in France they have a lot of armed military personnel walking the streets. Wow. So I'm having to walk all the way to the train station. It's about, I don't know, 40 degrees. It's hot. So thankfully I was able to stop in and get those tacos and get a 7-Up. That was really overheating for a minute there. But yeah. We're in like some city center, Toulon. Let's see if I can turn it right here. There we go. Anywhere there's shade is better than anything. Just focusing on the shade. The roads are kind of rough though with the suitcase. Yeah, so I think we're on the right path here. I'm not sure if you guys like these longer videos or you like the more detailed airport arrivals or what, but it's how I always travel. Like city hopping, island hopping, city hopping. You guys know my other channel, Island Hopper TV. You know I get around, but I never really documented the full travel process like this because I never knew the angle to take on the video, how to title it. But it seems like anytime I talk about without flying, people like those videos. People like to avoid airports. But yeah, we're making progress here, guys. Slowly but surely. I just got to get all the way to the end without getting too hot here. Right out in the middle of the sun. Oh my goodness. All right. Here we go. And in case anyone's wondering, right now I just checked, it's 97 degrees. So, that dog is cruising. Oh boy. I might have to actually take a break before I cross that. That's like the final stretch. Being in the direct sun like that for that long is too crazy. It's the kind of heat that's okay for like 10 to 20 minutes. But once you're out in it for like an hour, walking with suitcase, it's brutal. I just keep having bad luck. Look at that. Just as I arrived, it turned red. But the good news is that is the train station, I believe. I hope. It's gotta be. I can't see what else that would possibly be unless it's a museum or something. If I had enough time. There's the train station. Holy crap. It's over there. Okay. This is nuts. This is nuts. How do I get there? Is that the train? How do I get in there? Maybe that's it. Yeah, that might be it. Really astonished that there was like no taxis available or Ubers. Tried three times, 3 failed attempts to get an Uber. Here in summer. It's crazy. Metro, all right. So the escalator's not working. All right, you know, it's funny because last year I was in France and I said never again am I coming to Europe in the summertime, meaning July, August. Sure enough, here I am in July in France and it is hot. I don't think you guys understand how hot it is. It's hotter in Spain. Hotter in Spain. All right, let's see. You know, I think it's that Mediterranean. It doesn't cool like the Atlantic. Like the Atlantic helps keep Spain cool. Got a little hot there at times, but this is unbelievably hot. So what I'm actually looking for is a restroom.
haven't gone to the toilet in like 7 hours, so that should be good to do that. But we're here a little bit early, thank goodness. All right, guys, just an update. So we're going to be going to Narbonne. Never heard of it before. And then I do a transfer to Montpellier. However, I don't know if I'll do the full route. I might stop somewhere in between. Just because it's a different type of coastline and I don't really need to get all the way to Montpellier. It's just a target to get to. But I've already done enough travel just because going through Andorra down to Toulouse was like a 3.5 hour drive. It was quite long. And it's 4 o'clock, it's hot as heck. No need to really push it because I'm close enough to the French Riviera as it is. I can easily wake up tomorrow and make it there. All right, we've been issued a gate. Platform 8. Train leaves in about 20 minutes though. So we still got time. Alright. This is which commuter train we're going to be taking. Like I said, we got a layover in Narbonne. So I don't know how long I want to ride this. Might be free seating, I don't know. We'll just have to see how long I want to ride it. If it's got AC, then that's good. I feel AC, yeah. And we're off. You can see the seating situation. This was by far the most crammed seating that I've had on this entire trip. In Morocco, Spain, Portugal, none of the trains had this much congestion and cramming. Also, this is the oldest train that I've ridden here in Europe and Morocco. I think it's even older than the train in Morocco going to Marrakesh. So Spain has better infrastructure, in my opinion, than France. France infrastructure, at least here in the south of France where I'm at right now, the infrastructure is no good. It's old, nothing modern about it. Narbonne. We're here in Narbonne, and now I need to catch the train going to Montpellier. So we'll see how this goes. Let's see, is it this one? That'd be nice if it was. If not, that's okay. I'll figure it out. Alright, so I had to go under, and it looks like it's going to be another full train. They're quite full trains, guys. Alright, well, we have arrived at Montpellier. So, how do we do this? Oh, we gotta go up. Oh boy. No escalator or anything. Is that how you do it? Do I have to go up? Wow. How did disabled people do that? Yeah, you gotta be in good shape to ride trains in France. Most of the time, they don't have escalators, they just have stairs. Here's an escalator, but I don't know where that goes. France does not use very many escalators, and most of the infrastructure is getting older. They do have trains. Everything about France is very old. Like, there's almost nothing modern about France. That's what I'm realizing. Not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but if you compare it to places in Asia, China, even Thailand has more modern infrastructure than what I'm seeing here in France. Singapore, Malaysia, all more modern than France. So it does say that 100 years ago, French used to build things that were built to last. We'll see about the stuff that's being built nowadays, but that's one thing I can definitely say about Europe. From Portugal, Spain, France now. none of it was modern. Well, I saw some modern stuff in Spain, but so far, we'll see about France. Nothing seems to be even built within the last 30 years. So, with that being said, they can't even manage an escalator system. So, makes you wonder. Look at the roads. Look at the condition here. I've seen this in France many times. Well, I did get that taxi there, and he was great. That was a beautiful Mercedes. The guy was a straight shooter, no scams. Just charged me $11. So good man. What is this? And I'm staying at Adagio Access Apart Hotel. There's 2 hotels named Adagio Apart Hotel, and apparently I'm supposed to be at the one in the city center, not the one here. So I'm checking out, or I'm going to the next one here. Can you believe it? They have hotels with the exact same name in the same city. I guess it would be like Holiday Inn Express, but maybe because it's like French. I didn't know like that there would be Adagio Access Apart Hotel times 2 here. All right, here's my hotel. It's an apartment. But yeah, that'll work for now, I guess. All right, well, just gonna show you around the city center here in Montpellier. Oh, is that a modern looking tram? All right. I'm actually out to get a little cup of coffee here. Okay, what do we got going on over here? It's like a park and a fountain. Today has been an incredibly long day. Again, another long day for me. 9 hours of travel. I would say Toulouse kind of zapped me a bit. It took a lot out of me just because it was so hot. Part of the problem with traveling like this is, I guess you could say, lack of planning can kind of disrupt things. I told the taxi driver from Andorra to Toulouse to go to the city center. Well, it turns out Toulouse doesn't really have a noticeable city center. So once we got there and he couldn't really drive around any further, which was not his fault, it was definitely my fault because I should have picked the train station. That's what I should have picked. But I wasn't sure if I wanted to stay there or not. So I was like, well, just take me to the city center. I'll get a good idea of if I want to stay there or not. Well, I walked around the city center. I realized real quick, no thanks. Nothing there for me. No vibes. So I knew I wanted to go back to the coast. But yeah, I would say if I had just said go to the train station, I would have been able to catch the earlier train, which would have got me in here about 2 hours earlier. So again, just that little technicality right there that I took for granted ended up costing me more than I needed to, endure. But I don't know what's at the end of here, but either way, I'm not going to walk all the way over there. I'm tired. I did want to just check this place out. So tomorrow we're going to Marseille and then on to the French Riviera. So let's see how this keeps going. All right, it's the next morning and I'm headed to the train station. Yep, one more look at the morning here at the La Comedy, or I guess that's what you call it. Maybe this is where comedy comes from. I don't know, I'll have to research that. But even as I go around France, you'll see places like Bourbon or Orleans. Just different things like that in France. Words that have meaning outside of France. So very influential country for many centuries. In fact, I was looking it up. What country would have been the most influential or most powerful in Europe? And obviously it changed over time, but France was definitely up there. Spain as well. Spain had one of the largest empires, I think, ever. If you include Latin America and some of their other overseas territories, Portugal as well. I mean, Brazil alone is huge. But the Portuguese were ahead of everyone else. I mean, wherever you go around the world, you'll see settlements, and it'll be like, it usually goes, first it was the Portuguese, then it was the Spanish, then it was the Dutch, and then it was the British. So the OGs were the Portuguese. Like, same in Sri Lanka, Malaysia, I've seen that. Macau. That's just to name a few, okay? So, it's interesting to go around these places and learn. And then come back to the location where it kind of originated from, and then just see how much it's changed, really. I mean, going around Europe after going through Asia and Latin America like I do, you can see how the powers shift. It's a momentum thing, and a lot of times what happens is countries get complacent, they get lazy, they get comfortable, and they lose their edge. And then once you lose that edge, it's like a dull knife. Once the dull knife loses its edge, you got to sharpen it, otherwise it's no good. And kind of that's what you see in Europe. I'm not going to say that it's in decline necessarily, but I don't see an edge. At least if you look at how the world is set up, in the modern world at least, with technology, Europe has like aerospace with Airbus. They have some advanced nuclear power plants and energy resources. Schumacher European with Mercedes in Germany and stuff. Italian cars, luxury brands, and then tourism. I'm sure I'm missing a few things in between. The Dutch have like some technology for chips, you know, semiconductors and stuff. Ooh, wow. I think this is the train station. But generally speaking, it just doesn't have the big industrial output to make it a global player, right? Still, I'm trying to justify their currency strength, really, because the currency is so strong, but I don't see reason for that. Anyway, let's see. Anyway, enough of the technical talk. Let's get on this train. Maybe I'm a bit early, actually. I'm going to Marseille. Right, so we're gonna catch this train. I actually left my power cable in my room for my computer, so I had to run back there and get it. Thankfully, I had just enough time. Got sweat dripping down my face as I was running there, but I'm in time. The train is still delayed, so I guess that's kind of a good thing for me. But we'll see how delayed it is, actually. Well, we're on our way here. Oh, wow. So many rivers in this part of France. Alright, we're here in Marseille. I've just been informed that my ticket to Cannes, my train to Cannes, however you say it, has been canceled. So I spent the last like 20 minutes on the Omio app trying to get a cancellation, but they're saying that it can't be refunded even if it was canceled. And I have to go to some like European Union form to get a refund that will take possibly 3 months to get back. Maybe there's an option to change it, but refund seems like a total hassle right now. So we'll have to see what ends up happening with this. There is another train going at 2:45. I'll see if I can get that. Or I'll maybe stay in Marseille. I've stayed here before. I didn't really care much for it. So I wouldn't say that staying in Montpellier and Marseille was really on my bingo card. But anything's possible. What do we got here? Is this like an exit here? Okay. And we'll see where I can get. First things first is I gotta get situated outside the area here. A couple like gypsies coming up to me asking me for euros. I forgot this part of Europe has gypsies. They didn't have them in Spain. If they did, I didn't see many. They just basically come up to you like they're your friend, and they're just like put their hand out. They act like it's just like a total normal thing to beg for money like that. Alright, anyway. I'm still trying to figure out what my next plan of action is going to be. Don't really want to be here in Marseille. Kind of reminds me of Naples. They're famous places, but you wouldn't really want to be in those places for more than like a day max. And if you've been there once, you probably don't want to go again. It's kind of how Marseille is, if I'm honest with you. Montpellier was all right. I didn't explore it too much, but yeah, I explored this one last time I was here. Train station looks reasonably decent. Let's see here. I have no idea what I'm going to do. That looks nice. Look at that. So I can get on this train, I guess. They're saying I can. I just have to pay 50% more for the ticket, which is fine. I just need to get the heck over there. No sense in waiting. They told me to wait there, but nope. Didn't end up happening, so I'm going to try again. Let's see. Let's check this machine. Well, we have one of the weirdest machines. You have to use this, and then you have to push the button. But then even when you get to the ticket, it doesn't even tell you the time that the train leaves, but it tells you the price and the date. So what time is it? That's so weird. Well, update. I just went into their booth there, talked to someone. They're very helpful when they speak English, but their automated systems are confusing. It's a bit of a cluster, but I guess he told me I can go to this place called Toulon, and then from Toulon I can cross over. The train goes to Hyers. That's what he told me to do, so I'm gonna do it. He said it's still, that one's also delayed by 25 minutes, so I guess all the trains are pretty much delayed. That's why I've gotta be on the lookout for the Hyers train, as they call it. Well, here's some views of good old Marseille. I was here in 2018. went up to that castle there. Yeah, so this Hires train is now 40 minutes late. I might just opt for a Uber because it keeps getting later and later, and cancellation, delay, all this stuff. I might just go to Toulon and just chill there. All right, that's crazy. They just issued the gate and it's 3. But this whole station is alphanumeric. Or no, I'm sorry, all alphabetical over on this side. And I'm like walking around like, where the heck is 3? Well, it turns out they have 2 lines over here at 3 and 5. And this is where it's at. Tucked away on the far corner. Gosh, I'm starting to wonder if it's just a matter of luck or what. But it's like a jigsaw puzzle every time. Not every time, but just don't get it. Between cancellations, like in this video, how many trains have been canceled that you've seen? You know? It's kind of crazy. I know there's going to be people in the comments who are going to blame me, but come on. I don't really have any control over that. That's just too many cancellations and delays. The moment we've all been waiting for, the arrival of the train. I'm thinking it's just going to be standing room only. I don't even think I'll be able to get a seat. Even though I got a ticket, you know. Oh, well, it's kind of a big train. I'm assuming everyone's going to get off and then we're going to get on. It's so crazy, all these passengers that are trying to get on, they rush to get on, but little do they know, everyone's getting off. You've got to get off first before you can get on. This is like a double-decker train. Well, we're well on our way. All right, this has been an incredibly long journey since I began. Longer than that, I was thinking back to when I was in Santiago, I guess. So if I flash back, I think this took me something like 6 or 7 days. I have to verify that. But this area here is called Toulon. So it's been a long huck. But I'm officially in the French Riviera. I saw that blue water. Makes me want to go swim in the ocean. As per usual, France uses steps for everything. No escalators. They have occasional escalators, but they like to make you carry all your bags up them stairs. Never been here to Toulon before. I've been to the French Riviera, but there's so many villages and towns. Let's see what we got. Well, I'm here at the hotel, and I got some lemonade fresh with the macchiato. Chilling. Well, I've come in for a beer here, so that'll do. All right, I've made it down to the waterfront. I can't believe how high the tide is. It like literally comes right up to the stones. I could see why people think about climate change here in Europe, because I mean, if that water came up just any higher, it's flooding all these shops. You know, on the subject of climate change, that's real, right? So the climate change is, we went in an ice age, we went out of an ice age, we went into a mini ice age, out of an ice age. Those things happen. They're cyclical. They're climatic. But that's crazy. Look at it, the water even comes up right here. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes like right in here. Now, as far as what causes it, well, I don't know, 5,000 years ago, what caused it? 10,000 years ago, 10 million years ago, what caused it? Was it humans? Well, I don't know, how old are humans? And their CO2 gases. Wow, look at this. So these ships will go to like Tunis, Tunisia. That's the French Navy there. There's a cruise ship. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, I like it down here. This is one of my favorite towns that I've visited. I really enjoyed Vigo just because of like the proximity. I also like Porto. But look at this place. This is cool. I didn't really know much about it till now, so I like it though. Where are they going? Where the heck are they going? Everyone's running to get on the boats. Saint Mandir, Tamaris. Where's Tamaris? You guys know in the comments. Let me know. Tamaris, is that? That could not possibly be Africa, because Africa is a little bit further than that. Because I actually was thinking about going into Tunisia. We'll see, but I'm just amazed at how high the water level is in comparison to the ground level. That is incredible. But I don't really know much about this place. It seems interesting though. It really does. So we'll have to explore more around French Riviera, which I'm going to do on Island Hopper TV, my main channel. But yeah, look at this. These ships, where are they going? You got a Navy ship there, 2 cruise ships. What a port. All right, let's see what's under here. I got some mussels. So apparently Brussels isn't the only place known for mussels. Wow, you got to take this lime and just sprinkle it. Well, in case you're wondering, this is where I ate. And this is now. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this one, you can also watch my route that I did through Morocco into Portugal. Click the link right here.